is 24th. I'm going to go ahead and share the minutes. Was everyone able to access the minutes all right that wanted to?
Yeah, my apologies for picking up the wrong ones, Rachel.
No, it's okay.
You got the nanoseconds instead of the minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's a time nuts joke.
There,
In a timely manner.
and throw these in the minutes. Or in the chat as well. So you don't have to go back to your email if you'd like. And then we'll pick up where we left off. Dr. Frizzell, did you want attendance taken today?
Sure, that's good.
Okay. Work on that. In the meanwhile,
If you're
Grape
not
one.
here, you're in detention. Tough group.
Any progress on the hard drives?
Yes, I think he got them.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, they arrived Wednesday.
The
Not
cases.
spinning yet, but he's got them. And the
I've got
power
'em.
supply and the
Adapters.
yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, they're due from Monday to Wednesday next week. I don't have any further word than that, but they should get here next week by Wednesday.
Thank you, Salisa.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. And I heard the boards are basically done as well.
That's amazing.
Is that right?
Let me ask you a question on the
Is there-
boards. I think that the quantity is important too, because some of you may have seen in the update yesterday, we've got 15 complete stations to build, or they have built, and there's a couple of people that only want the receiver boards. Is that still acceptable to everyone?
I'm having trouble hearing you, Gary. Is it just me or?
He's a little low on the audio.
Okay.
He's going to get the megaphone.
Yeah, I can close the door and speak up, that's for sure.
Oh, there you are.
So there were the 15 Grape systems that you guys have pretty much mostly assembled, I believe. And as I said in my note yesterday, there were 2 or 3 individuals who only wanted the Grape receiver board. Is that okay with the New England Grape group to build just a couple of receivers?
Well, it's out of scope,
I would say send him the whole system. If
But-
we got it, do it.
well, but
Really?
we don't have but 15 systems.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
it's
we
just-
don't have extra systems. And some of these people have obtained all the other components except for the Grape because they're not comfortable with the surface mount solder. So the question is, how do we get a couple more Grape receiver boards built?
Well, we don't have them built. We're not stocked in spares here yet. So, but you know, we're here to help, but it's going to have to wait. I mean, till we get these boards out. I mean, that's been our priority.
That's true. That's true.
We're-
Getting the
we're
15
making-
complete systems.
We're making progress. Sometimes it seems slower than it should be, but
Boy, does that sound familiar?
yeah. Well, we've opened the subject. John, I hate to report, but we got a bad Bogner.
Really?
Well, it didn't lock up in an hour.
Oh, that's not good.
Now I'm going to take it off the board and put it on a different antenna just to make sure. But everything's been locking up.
Usually 2 or
Fine,
3
but-
minutes. Yeah, it's locked
Yeah.
in. Yeah. Well, we'll send it back.
I did want to put it on another antenna just to make sure. There's a long coax going to the test bench.
But all your
Uh,
other
for
boards
the-
work.
But the other Bogners, like I say, just work fine, but
Yeah,
just-
that sounds like
But-
how it should be sent back.
it just blinks at me.
It likes you.
Yeah. So otherwise, we got a few minor things, but we're getting there.
So how did we want to send it back? What do you want us to do, John?
Well, the first thing we're gonna have to do is contact Leo and tell him we got a bad unit and follow that, whatever he does. So let's see. So Lisa placed the order. I will try myself, since I think he knows who I am, since I've ordered over 100 units from him already, and see where I can take that. But let me make a note of that, because in 5 minutes I will forget it.
All right, let us know the next step.
Got it. It's
Okay, and
okay if I go through Bill Backwell to get back to you. Or actually, I should have Stan. I should have your email, right?
You should.
Okay, I will get back to you directly.
Thank you.
Keep Bill out of the loop. He's busy.
Yep. We have one
Okay, so-
other issue to discuss that now that we're coming to hooking all this up. Unless you have a single port keyboard and mouse, we don't have 5 USB ports. So I think originally we were talking about a hub, and are people expected to have one? Or,
In the list I've been sending out to everybody, I said wired or wireless keyboard and mouse. And I said and I did include a USB hub, a powered hub on their list of optional items. And I said, if you're going to use, as I say, you're going to use a USB keyboard and mouse, you'll probably also need a hub.
okay,
So
Yeah, 'cause-
expectations have been set.
Logitech keyboard and hub, the cheap one is like $19.
Really?
It's not a big deal. It's a
Quick
decent
question, is
keyboard.
that a powered hub? Because I've only had luck with running a powered hub on my system.
Yeah, you would definitely want a powered hub.
Yeah,
I've run keyboard mouse on an unpowered hub.
Oh yeah, keyboard and mouse is no big deal because it's just the receiver you're running. That's probably like 10 or
and
15
the
milliamps.
hard drive has its own supply, right?
This one we're using does, yes.
yeah. What my experience was, once I put once I put all those things, including the hard drive, and I don't know why, but the hard drive and the sound, the little sound card chip that goes in USB, and these other things, it would crash the system if I didn't have a powered hub. And I think, we're not talking about a great deal of money there in terms of making sure something is solid.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
sound
right.
card wants to be on the USB port on the Raspberry Pi. You don't want to go through the extra layered interface of a hub because that adds in a double address and it's double buffered and everything gets.
Yeah. Likewise, the hard drive, if you can.
Yeah, the hard
That's
drive
why
really wants to
I'm
be on the
running it.
USB 3 port.
Yeah, I've been running mine on the hub for months, and the reason is because it takes up a lot of space on the Raspberry Pi, and you have to jam the plug in right next to it. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah,
So
the Sabrent USB or the Sabrent USB audio card is fat.
It won't fit in either way, vertically or horizontally.
So I will, it's about time for me to send an update to all the host stations, and that'll be the first point I make. I mean, you guys will see it when I send it out, that I'll list the USB ports, I'll list how many we're using, and I'll say, if you're doing so and so and so, you'll need a powered hub, and I'll give them a keyboard with its own hub on it, that sort of thing. So I'll put a note together to that effect today.
Also, an update on the distro. I actually made a distro on version 1.5 of Raspberry Pi 4, booted it up, and it ran fine. So I'm not sure what you guys ran into, but I've had no issues. But I'm going to do a complete OS update on the distro and do some tweaks on the transfer protocol script, because we're now past node 60, so we have to have hour 1 put in to offset the 60 node and get that fixed up, and then update the documentation. So that's all in progress, and the distro works, so there's no issues.
Back to the keyboard mouse, you wrote that as single board keyboard mouse, single connector
Single port, yeah.
port.
Yeah, I'm running a, what is it?
Trying to do the minutes at the same time. Sorry about
The
that.
wireless keyboard and mouse from Logitech uses just one
Right.
receiver.
They work great.
It was maybe 20 some dollars.
Yeah. Micro Center has them usually for $19.95.
That's where I got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll close the loop on the 2 additional Grape receiver boards. I have not promised any of those 2 people any specific shipping dates. So we'll just hold that as an open item, knowing that we need 2 more Grape receiver boards from whoever wants to or is capable of building. So I just think we ought to leave that in a minute.
Can we get somebody just to build, order 3 and build 3? That sounds like somebody that likes to do hardware should be pretty straightforward. That's an afternoon's worth of work. And that would solve your distribution.
Well, at our age, it's 2 afternoons, but that,
I wasn't inferring that the New Age group would be doing it, but
well,
As long
far
as
as
they
I
can wait
can-
till after the 15, it's not an issue.
it's gonna have to wait for us or, I mean, okay, if we get direction to drop what we're doing and
No, you guys are doing the right thing. So like I say, we'll leave it open in a minute.
Joe, do you have any bandwidth to do that? It's W7LUX.
I think he's one of the guys on the list.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah, I was muted. Bandwidth to what, assemble boards?
Just to make 3 boards for this upcoming event. 3 stations wanted just the boards. And we've got
Yeah, I could make time to do that. However, my procedure has been to buy the parts and they come in labeled packages. And that very much helps make sure everything goes in the right spot.
Yep.
So would I be able to get parts with labels? So a lot of these parts don't have a whole lot of markings on them.
Let me check my workshop, Joe, because I ordered 4 sets of parts when I built my Grape one, and I should have 3 sets left over. And I left each one in a bag and wrote on it with a Sharpie what the PC board designator was. And
Okay,
going back to the schematic.
Yeah, are these Grape 1 or Grape 1.12?
1.12.
Okay,
I've got 2 blanks and 3 sets of parts. So we've got a few spares in there. So if I can, I'll try and confirm that today. And probably the best thing to do is just drop those in the mail to you.
okay. I will make time.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. Thanks to everybody who's put in all of this work into this project.
Let's make it happen.
I have a question for Gary. All right, you sent me a couple of spreadsheets. First list of hosts, the second list of hosts. We're building 15 systems, but it looks like there's about 50 names on these spreadsheets. How do I know who to build systems for?
Well, stick to taking care of the first 9 on that second list, because those are the people I've been in touch with recently. But the long-term goal always has been to have about 26 stations receiving DRFs and uploading them to your server. So though the New England Grape group is building 15 systems, there are other people who've built their own that will need an image. And I'll let you know who those people are, but there will be about 10 more people beyond the initial 15.
Well, okay, so the total list is all names that are on both lists, or is just, I haven't had time to go through and compare these lists.
Well, if you open the second list, it should be pretty clear. They're broken in. There's a group of 4 and a group of 5. So that's the 9 that are confirmed. And so on and so forth. So I would just do those 9 until I send you another list.
In the second list, okay.
Right. Yeah. Discard the first one if you want.
Oh, discard this first list, okay.
I have a question about overall system operation. Will the system work, provided there are no catastrophic events, but will the system work reliably without any attendance? And that means recover from a short power outage or something like that. The reason I'm asking is the girlfriend wants to run up and see the eclipse, and that means I would be away from home during the actual event.
The newest image starts up automatically after a power outage.
That's a
And
big help.
Starts collecting data. That was a struggle I had earlier in the week, that to get something that comes up and run and also does all the graphics is not that easy to accomplish, but we've got it working, and I've tested it through power cycles. So in fact, it comes up and even when you first power it up, it comes up and starts trying to collect data and starts trying to upload. So if you don't want it to do that, as soon as it starts up, you've just got to click in the terminal window that came up automatically and hit Control-C to stop it. Otherwise, it'll try to do its thing.
Doing its thing is important.
Yeah, and another thing I discovered, there's some weird thing that goes on with LFTP. If you start putting other things on your hard drive besides your observations, it may just mirror that up to the server as well. Now, I haven't been able to put my finger on what is the reason why it does that, but since we're so short of time here, my recommendation is, for now, let's just tell people to use that attached hard drive only for observation data, rather than putting a whole bunch of other things on there, because otherwise they'll end up on my server.
That could be interesting.
Otherwise, I'm sorry, otherwise they will what?
They might get uploaded to a personal space by the station network server. Now, that only happened a couple of times, and I haven't put my finger on what is the reason why that happened. But because I got a filter in there that's supposed to screen out anything other than observation folders. So that's strange, but to me, that's not enough of a bug to it's not a showstopper at this point. I'm gonna see if
I certainly agree with that.
I gotta
Bill,
see if
when
Go
do
ahead.
you feel comfortable that you'll be able to send out the actual image or actual SD cards or whatever?
Well, okay, you send them out. Are we okay? The way things are going, I was thinking that probably what I was supposed to do is burn all these and send them to the New England group, and they would put them in each individual system and check each one, make sure it runs before sending it out to a final user. Is that
For the 15, that was the plan.
okay? Good. Now,
I think people are asking beyond 15.
Yeah, the rest of us are not depending on the New England group.
You're right.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if somebody, I guess I I can do it, whatever I am requested to do. I can burn them and prepare them. I can also give people access to download the image from UA Box. We have a downloadable image, which I give people access to as they request it. You can download it yourself and burn yourself if you feel comfortable doing that. So there's several different ways we can do that.
That sure seems like something that would beat the US mail.
Depends on how fast your download service is.
It does take a while to download.
Took a couple of hours to get the image from
No,
John there in Cat Case, but it got here in one piece and it worked.
Well, I mean, Joe, if you would like to test your system with my image, I'd be happy to give you access to it. And then you can try it.
W7LUX@ARRL.net.
Do I have access to that, Bill?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I'll try it as well. Is there a new image name I should be looking for? Or should I just
burn a new one? I put the date in the file name. So just look for the newest one. But
okay.
Clearly, if you've had any trouble figuring out what's there or anything else, I'm trying to stay on top of emails on this. My email address is goodandqrz.com, so people can contact me. And,
Perfect.
Or you can call me on the phone. I mean, we're down to the short strokes on it, so I don't want to hold up anything.
Okay.
I have a question back on the power restart issue. When you lose power and the Pi restarts, in the original Grape 1, it did not wait for either NTP to sync the clock or for the Bodnar to be locked before starting FLDigi and starting data collection. Is this image build gonna wait for either of those two events or both before it starts collecting data?
I don't have anything in there to wait on anything. There's about a 7-second start to make sure it gets any previous processes killed before it starts. I mean, it's certainly possible to put in a delay, but we don't know how long the delay is going to be.
Right. Well, 7 seconds normally should be enough for both events to happen, but just in case they don't. I mean, my system, I have a slow Bodnar that doesn't always sync up in the first 30 seconds. And
yes, I have to reboot a couple of times sometimes.
That's odd.
George, you
Yeah.
have to reboot, but what is the reason for that? Do you know?
Yeah, the Bodnar isn't syncing.
Oh, the Bodnar. Okay,
But
right.
if I restart the system, it'll sync pretty quick.
Are we using systemd to launch the monitoring app?
not in Grape 1.
No.
Okay.
Is there a way in systemd to determine if the clock has been set an NTP before you can fire something else off?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
I had to deal with this or some VPN issues. There's an argument that you can add. It's a wait for argument that goes in the system file.
Oh. Is it be any possibility of twisting your arm to get a copy of that?
Yeah, let me go look up the exact code and I'll stick it in the chat.
Oh, perfect. The man of the hour saves the day.
I don't know any way to confirm what the Bodnar is doing.
Right. Sometimes the
good.
Bodnar will hiccup if the power cycle isn't a complete shutdown, bring up. I've seen that happen. So that may be what George's problem is.
How do you?
Yeah, I was
complete-
wondering if we needed to put a UPS under this thing, and it
How
sounds
do
like
you
maybe
complete
we do.
shutdown?
Unplug it from the USB port.
What I do for Bodnar is do the LBST, I think it's LBS command, which is an alias that just prints out the Bodnar status, and then I grep for the PLL locked in that output,
Oh,
and I just do that in a script.
maybe I should add that to the new distro.
Yeah. The
We'll
trouble
talk
is
about that. We'll talk about that this afternoon.
Yeah, okay.
Back to Rachel. You can wake up now.
Yeah. Pseudo system enabled. Just copying that to the minutes. Okay, so that's basically the software system update, and then we'll have an image test from W7LUX. And did you guys solve, after the call at any point last week, did you guys solve the Linux issue you were having on the image?
Oh, in terms of it not booting? Talking about the Grape 1 distro?
I believe so. There was some kind of now it's a week ago, but there was some kind of problem with
Yeah,
the
well, I actually loaded the image and ran it on a version 1.5 Raspberry Pi 4, and I didn't see the problem, but I was able to do a major update of the existing image, which is what I'm going to put up on the website now. I think I have to get a hold of Christina to make, it's in Mendeley or whatever she put it in. So I have to be able to get access to that to delete the old one. I want to update the image as well as the sequence of steps, because the end of the sequence of steps doesn't walk you through setting up the auto transfer. It says when it gets ready. So that was obviously before I got that working.
well, this
Yeah,
is
that
for
was the second document.
Here I am.
There you are.
John, send me whatever changes you need made to the Mendeley and I'll make them. We can't delete the original version, but we can update and point people to the new one.
Okay, because it's going to be like a 7 or 8 gig image.
Yep, that's fine. I can get it from you on a flash drive, whatever's easy.
Okay.
Okay, I was more talking the issue Bill Engley brought up last week with you.
Oh,
you were
sorry.
Yeah.
talk after that.
We got that solved. solved. Yeah, there was a couple things that were going wrong, but the latest image does not seem to have those problems. I think I've found the problems and fixed them. So.
And you found a way to do the compression of the empty space for the distro? Oh, you're making the image anyway, it doesn't matter.
I couldn't do that. I just rebuilt the system from scratch.
Okay.
And that had the advantage of being cleaner than the old one because it doesn't have a year's worth of tinkering built into it. It's all clean. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, the hard time I was having was finding something that would auto start and also do the graphics, because there's a lot of things you can auto start them, but they won't start anything that you can see. What I finally had to do is run a GNOME terminal in the startup script and then have it execute the Python program as part of that command. So yeah. And there was a few other little glitches that were cured by a complete system refresh. So
makes sense.
Weird boot problems and yeah, I mean, so it's a couple of sub versions newer, so maybe the Ubuntu people fixed a couple of things. I don't know. So
Okay. I think the last thing to talk about just because Gary will soon be on vacation. Was there progress for the digital RF? I guess waterfall modular view plot view system.
That is, we do have a way to show a frequency spectrum. Now, it's far from perfect, but I think it's good enough for now. It shows a waterfall as well as a frequency spectrum that updates every 3 seconds or so, which is a big improvement over the waterfall, which updates every 110 seconds.
Okay.
So it's just a limitation of the way the FFT works inside the waterfall. So
I'm gonna mark that as completed, so I remember that next week. It's good enough. Station selection. Nobody has any other comments on software or hardware. Gary has a new map for us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the heavy black dots are the confirmed station locations, just so that everybody can kind of see that, like in the Southwest US, we've got a good group of stations between the eclipse will run between them and WWV, and the same is true on the East Coast from Florida up to New England. So I think I feel pretty good about where we're going to have
Nice
receivers.
job, Gary. Very nice job. That was a lot of work.
Yep.
very
Thank
well
you.
done. Very well done.
Yes, very impressive.
Well, I'll be even more thrilled when they start uploading data. But it is kind of neat to look at the map from the central control system and see these stations popping up on there. So people are doing what they should.
I agree. This is very good.
Yeah, and I know you also wanted me.
Where are the New England ones? I see CHU and a bunch south of CHU, but how that?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm talking about there. I've only showing one of the New England Grape group because I didn't want to, we know we've got 5 or 6 people up there. I think I've got Stan on there, maybe Bill or something, but
The important people.
there you go.
Oh man, I'm not touching that one.
Are you lumping me into the Grape group or what?
Yeah. Again, the CDAR grant specified 25 or 26 locations, and I just wanted to show them. This is not the entire Grape population by any means. That's later in the call. I got something about that.
Fair enough.
Okay. The only other thing you did, Gary, you asked me to confirm with Jim that he was able to do, I guess, the support and user help side of things from the host. He's not on the call, so I'll just leave that up.
Jim did confirm that when he got back. He was on a cruise or something. He said, yep, he's definitely signed up for that. So we're good. He can confirm that.
Perfect. Okay, and there was. We are on to, does anyone have any lingering questions, comments, or concerns about the Grape 1 deployment? Or updates, I suppose. Because
It's
if not,
fermenting nicely.
it's fermenting nicely. Wonderful. In which case we will move on to Grape.
The decanter is full and it's ready to be served.
Okay. Might have missed that first part. John, did you have any?
Grape 2, yes. Last night we had the RF deck came to life and 10 megahertz came through clean, 15 megahertz came through clean, 5 megahertz was not doing anything. I know all the hardware is functional, so I suspect I've got a frequency problem. But this was at 1 o'clock this morning, and I didn't chase after it too much because I was running out of gas. But yeah, the programming of the 5351s works for CHU and WWV. Like I said, the 10 and 15 megahertz radios, which are channels 2 and 3, came up fine. And I'm still working with channel 1, and it's going to be something silly because I know all the hardware bandpass filters and the resonant filters are all perfect and everything is working as far as that's concerned. So it's got to be a 5351 probably frequency problem or something something's not right. But anyway, I am having problems that I've discovered. We were trying to have at the 8,000 samples per second consistently coming in, and Bill was having problems with that. I discovered last night that the frequency is hiccuping, and I can see it you can see it walking through the 500 hertz decoded demodulated signal. So I've got to chase after either a U-Blocks programming problem or a 5351. I suspect this is U-Blocks. It seems to be doing it on a 1 second basis, because if you put the 8 megahertz output, you can watch it jumping between 2 frequencies. So it's something that's I have to follow through on. So, but we did find Kung's software programming problem. It turned out that the bozo who soldered his board didn't solder the 2 programming pins onto the Pico. The ground was hooked up, but the 2 programming pins were not soldered. So once we soldered those in, it started working like it's supposed to. We should fire the guy who did it, but I suspect nobody would be happy with getting rid of me.
Don't count yourself so lucky to be fired, John.
Yeah, that's sort of what I figured. That's working now.
You're not going to be so lucky.
You won't be paid any less.
Yeah, double my salary, right? So that's going. Bill's making fantastic progress. We've got this little consistent 8,000 sample per second issue we're trying to resolve, and I think I'm on to something. So I haven't had a chance to put it on to the Analog Discovery 2 network or logic analyzer and actually capture what's going on. But my gut feeling from what I saw last night, for anything to make the 500 hertz thing have a discontinuity and jump, the only thing that could be coming from is the frequency source. So
yeah,
because my injection source was an HP GPS sync signal generator, and it's dead nuts on, and it's not moving. So I know that it's either the U-Block. I'm suspecting it's the U-Block, something I did stupid at the setup. But my plan is to get a hold. I believe John Ackerman is the guru on that from Tapper. Is that correct?
For timing?
For timing, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
John's the one.
I'm going to get a hold of him. I also want to talk to him about ordering 50 of the magnetometer boards for Grape 2. But we only need the outside external board. The internal board is actually built into the Grape 2, so we don't need that. So let's see what else has happened in the last week. I can remember. Any other updates that I missed, Bill?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay. Kung, is there anything else that I need to mention?
No, nothing too major.
Okay.
Kung, I just saw your email.
Oh,
I think, yeah, so I think for the moment, is there any possibility we could put a receive antenna on your house for HF?
like on the roof?
Or just throw like a wire out your window for now?
It's possible, but I'm gonna have to see, what the specific about the insulation.
Okay. Because I think we're in the process, as you know. I'm very happy to report that we are in the process of actually building the ham radio station here at the University of Scranton. I was up there this morning. The electrician has been in this week. They put in the new electrical sockets. They're working on terminating the networking. It's looking beautiful. And the antenna contractor, WN3A, Jeff DiPolo, he says he's going to be on campus starting September 6th, working long nights to get the place put in, get everything put in. So it's going to happen this semester. But I think in terms of Kung, you getting a stable place to work, I think you're going to be better off having a stable place in, say, October rather than September. So if we can just get something to hold you over at your house until we get all this stuff done, I think that would be the best thing to do.
Okay.
Just a thought, Kung, maybe if you, whatever room you're in your house, whatever the nearest window is, go outside and take a couple of pictures and send them to Nathaniel, and maybe between the two of you guys, you could brainstorm something really simple.
Yeah. What did we decide what we're sending with the regular grape kits?
Yeah,
Can we just have Kung do one of those?
well,
You don't have to
No
have to
problem.
provide it.
no, actually, no problem. I mean, that's part of the job.
Yeah.
It's one more antenna to build, but that's all. It's
Rachel,
pretty
can I-
simple. It's a bunch of wire and some coax and a few insulators. And it's configurable in about 4 different ways.
Yeah, could you send one to us? If you were you already planning on sending me one as part of one of the 15?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's the best answer I can give you.
Don't feel bad, Nathaniel. I didn't get one either.
Yeah, you on Gary's list?
Yeah, that's the thing. I gotta look. Let's see if you were listed.
I don't know who was listed. I just
I probably said I
Gary
didn't
said
need an
make 5
antenna.
antennas.
Yeah, I've got Nathaniel down just for the complete station. I mean, we can add an antenna to you, no big deal, but
Would it be possible
Bob
to
can
add
build
an
it.
antenna? If you had an antenna, I'll give the antenna to Kung and he can see if he can hook something up at his house with that.
Gary, do you have all 15 stations spoken for?
Okay. Gary, do you want 6? Is that what you're saying? Or 7 or 8 or 10 or?
yeah, Nathaniel would be number 6, or whatever, Scranton or whatever you want to call it would be number 6.
Okay, got the message.
And John, I've got 14 stations spoken for, one of which is N8 OBJ, and then we'll have one spare that hopefully will go out to Colorado or South Carolina. I'm not sure which.
So am I getting the full station then?
Yes, yep.
Okay, good. I didn't realize.
Yeah, you got enough to do without building another station.
Oh, I got so much free time. In terms of open projects, if I could share my screen real quick, I could show you what I did for the past 2 days.
Sure. No, I've got a quick.
And this affects you as well, Rachel. Okay, share screen. That is a Cushcraft R8 28-foot multiband vertical on a tilt-over tower up on the 9th floor of our Glennon building here at Case. And got that up and operational yesterday morning, just before the rainstorm and the windstorm. So our ham shack now has a multi-band, huge antenna. Hold us over until
That's awesome.
Yeah, it went really well. I mean, it was pretty easy to put up. The whole antenna only weighs 23 pounds, but if you're trying to hold it on land, it has more than 1,000 pounds of torque on it. So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But it's got.
So
I'm sorry?
So this is holding you over until you get the other antenna system
Until we get
fixed?
the towers in. It was supposed to happen in July and
Yeah.
more bureaucracy.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on with that. I'm so ticked about it.
I understand this whole bureaucracy thing.
Ugh.
But
Anyway,
that looks very nice, John.
even got the radials in and it was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Dave 88Y helped me quite a bit. So he was making sure I didn't fall off the ladder.
Yeah, this was John's task. Congratulations, John. And
That's
Rachel,
beautiful,
certainly
John.
thank you.
Yeah, the guy wires look great because I know how windy it is up there.
Yeah. They're 3/8 of that rope that you get that's got the center and then the outside UV shield on it, that black stuff. It's really good. So
By the
anyway,
way, how's the weather right now? I saw that you were under flood
oh
warning.
man, we got 2 inches of rain in an hour and a half last night. And there was flood warnings here at Case this morning. So yeah, we're getting a deluge. The antenna's getting its first cleaning.
Are you still planning on having your shack on air hours on Thursday evenings?
I believe so. David?
Yes, first will be a week from this evening.
That sounds great. I'm hoping, my goal is that once we get our station on the air here, to have our shack weekly on hours match your shack weekly on hours time, so that we can talk to you on HF.
That'd be fun. Once we get that established, let's have some task between the stations for each Thursday evening. Trying a new mode, trying low power, trying something.
They might be a good target for the CW testing.
I agree. I like this plan.
That would be really cool.
Note that we are running our coherent CW beacon on 28.240 megahertz. You can use that for testing.
Yep.
Wonderful.
It's on even as we speak. I can feel the radiation coming from the roof. And if you believe that.
I'm excited. Yeah, once we get our station up, we will be there with you.
I got a question on that. Do we have to be coherent to receive it?
No, it is just regular CW from the point of view of a regular receiver.
And I mean that in a number of different ways.
Well, in that respect, yes, but normally no.
So since we're sharing pictures,
Oh, cool.
The assembly line.
That is nice.
that was
That's
this week's progress.
I like the table saw.
Yeah, it's an old Delta saw.
Yeah, I've got the 10-inch contractor saw and I made an aircraft carrier top for it. So where are the hard drives going to go?
Good question.
On the table.
Good answer, George.
It wasn't in the original concept.
Uh,
But anyway,
Well, we can get bigger pieces of plywood.
yeah, but that stuff looks so nicely cut and sanded and rounded corners.
we'll add an extension with a hinge.
There you go. Actually,
Anyway.
what you could do is attach it to the bottom.
Put it on the floor.
Anyway,
The bottom has rubber feet.
Ah,
They didn't show the bottom.
okay. Maybe they need foot extenders.
Yeah.
Nice job on the construction, guys. That's top notch. I'm looking forward to working with you on Grape 2.
I hope, yeah, now we got to make sure it works.
Well, nobody asked about that. I mean, come on.
Work?
What's that
What's
mean?
that?
They'll have to
That's
get the
part of the
labels on.
contract. I'm sorry, Bill?
Still have to put the labels on too. That's my job, I think.
Oh, I'll send you a Sharpie. You want red or black?
Red for some things, maybe.
Okay, got it.
To get on track just for another.
Sorry.
We're not off track, are we, Rachel?
Just
That never happens.
kind of jump down to open announcements there for a bit. Although I will point out, if you guys want to throw Grape build status pictures in the minutes, feel free to do so.
Yeah, definitely.
In there anyway, and they look beautiful.
They do.
Yeah. So on our open other projects, we already got the update on the FL Digi new image stuff. Gary had some updates for the website as well.
Yeah, there was some talk a few weeks ago about putting a new page up with giving credit to the various people who've worked on a Grape project. And I'd like to show that, and it's not done. So to be honest, I like when we stop the recording, and then I'd like to show it because I know it's not complete and I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. So if I can go last, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, we can do that. I do have the link to it in the minutes.
That's fine. That's
if
fine.
if anybody wants to look at it. All right. That is okay. Any updates on the Hamsai legal agreement process? Dr. Frizzell, did you meet with the Scranton law team?
I did. Yes, I met with our general counsel and I kind of explained the whole situation. And I haven't heard back from him yet. I sent him all sorts of documents, the one that Gary sent me. I sent him what Aurorasaurus does. NASA Citizen Science, they actually have a Citizen Science handbook where they give recommendations on how to do this. I haven't heard back from him yet. So I think he's still thinking about it. I think in terms of the short term here, I wouldn't worry about making the people sign an agreement for these 15 stations. I think it's, it's very small scale. Let's just get it out there. And I'd rather it just still be on like a friendly handshake, rather than putting something out that's kind of scary. And, and the other thing is like Hamsai is not a legal entity, so it'd have to be the universe. It's just, well, let's just send it out there. We're within the scope of what we said we would do in the grant. People have been fantastic about, doing what, being good to their word. I think we should just go for it for these first 15, and we'll eventually hear back from our general counsel.
Okay. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Kazdan is here. Is there any progress on, just because we missed this bit, on the script for generating amplitude, frequency, and noise test software for the
Yeah, I'm afraid there's only minimal progress. I have been working on this C code. It's arduous. Actually, Rachel, are you well acquainted with singular value decomposition methods?
Oh, I love SVDs.
Good. Could I impose on you for a half-hour tutorial on the topic?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's schedule that. I think that's the approach.
She's not excited, is she?
We'll talk about it. Good.
It's like the mathematicians, like if all else fails, the first thing we try is the SVD, the last thing we try is the SVD.
I'm going to try it some in between as well. Good, thank you. We'll talk about it.
I've never seen her smile wrap her all the way right back to her ears before. Not excited, are we?
Just a little. We love the SVD over at Yoast Manufacturing.
Yes, yeah, it's part of Yoast Manufacturing. That's right. Okay, we're perfect.
Okay.
We're ideal. I forget which it was.
I will put myself down for that.
Good, thank you.
Okay. Let's see. We covered everything else. So at this point, we are an open agenda discussion announcements. And then whenever we're done with that, we'll turn things off and we'll do the website preview.
Great.
Okay, I just go ahead, Nathaniel. I have a couple things, but you go first.
Sure, I just have one update. I've been in touch with Veronica Romanek, and she is happily settling into Virginia Tech, working as a PhD student in the Super Darn lab down there. And her advisors, who were my PhD advisors, have thought it would be good for her to be the liaison between the Virginia Tech Research Group and the Scranton Research Group. And they have also asked if she wanted to go to AGU and present on looking at MSTIDs with both grapes and super darn. So she's continuing for her PhD work to analyze grape data. And I said we would continue to support her. So we have at least, so she just submitted an abstract yesterday. I think some of you were co-authors on that, so you probably received an email. So that's like really awesome progress. So very happy. And
Okay,
I should also point out that it's these sorts of results, I think are going to be some of the things that help us continue to get funding from the science community. Go ahead, Bill.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go through and start preparing these the system chips. Now what I have to do is I have to check each one of the users to make sure that their information is complete in the personal space for the station network database. And I'm going to probably also email each of them verifying that what they have in there is the final thing, so that something doesn't change. I mean, I've noticed that there are a number of people who have created an account, but and very often there's a station there, but not an instrument. And so I have to have an instrument defined for the Grape. You have to create an account, then you have to create a station, and within a station, one or more instruments. So Judge, I haven't done a count yet, but I think there's a number of people who are missing stuff. Be able to set them up to burn. Okay, then also I'm going to start going down this list, this what Gary calls the second list, and my plan is once they're ready to send them to Stan KD1LE. Does that work?
Works for me.
Okay. That's all. That's what I'm going to be doing here in the next day or two, working on that.
Bill, is there a way on your system? Because I think I've got 2 nodes listed on mine. Is there any way to delete one of them?
You just tell me what you want deleted.
Okay.
And I can kill it on the database.
Okay, I will do my homework, and that's what the other stuff you're looking for as well.
That's all I had.
And it's a detail maybe, but just a reminder that John sent me and I sent Bill the 15 SD cards. If there are more sites that are going to get them, Bill's going to need more SD cards.
If that's the case, I can have them directly sent to Bill.
Yes.
Do I need to do that?
For
well,
I'm going to burn them, yeah.
Yes. So how many? 10 more?
Well, how many systems are we going to build here? Somebody said 30.
There'll be about 25 in total. Many of them, you know, including some of the people on the call today, are capable of downloading an image and burning their own too. So I don't know what's easier for you.
Should I just get 15 more SD cards to Bill?
I would suggest that, because number one, they're not real expensive.
Right.
And the other thing is, if we get into a time crunch, that's one more thing we don't have to wait days for to come through the mail.
It's on my list.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns, or announcements?
Mike here, WA9TKK.
Okay.
I've run into an issue, and it's been confirmed by another Red Cross member. We participate in a weekly FL DigiNet, and we've confirmed that there's a problem with USB hubs when trying to copy a picture image using MFSK image mode. It causes the image to shift, and that might be due to the sampling rate of the USB hub. So I don't know if this is if this particular issue pertains to the hubs that we're using, but if you're trying to connect your radio or sound card through a hub connected to the computer, that could be a problem. But if it's all internal to the board, the receiver and the computer all in one, and you're not using the hub for connecting a radio or anything like that, this may not be the problem. But I've actually listed that on a website that I maintain, this weekly net on the K7 ARC, K7 Arizona Red Cross .org website for the Northwest New Mexico Digital Net. I added a comment on there, and I post that every week for the Northwest New Mexico Digital Net that we help those guys run. But anyhow, it's just a observation, and it may not pertain to the experiment that we're doing here. So that's
Actually,
it.
That's very pertinent. Thank you, Mike, because the normal setup that at least I did for Grape 1 was the USB dongle for the sound card plugged in directly, as well as the Leo Bodnar directly into the Grape Raspberry Pi. So yeah, I can see that being a problem, especially if you have two channels with a lot of bandwidth going through a hub. The way the operating system handles that, it has to add another layer of addressing, and then all the packets get scattered around, and I could see that getting bottlenecked and losing stuff. So point well taken, and thank you for the info.
Yeah, I got years of experience and tried all kinds of different hubs and powered, unpowered, and run into that same issue. So if you need some old images of what it looks like on an image chip, I can get that over to you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, what's your call sign?
November 8, Oscar Bravo Juliet.
Very good. Okay, I'll try and get that to you.
Send it to Juliet Charlie George, or I'm sorry, Julie Charlie Golf 66 at case.edu. So JCG 66 at case.edu.
Got it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns, or discussion? All right, we'll end that here officially. We'll end the recording, and then Gary can take over with the website preview if you'd all like to stick around and get comments. Dr. Frizzell, I need you to end the recording.
I will stop the recording now.